YouTube, what's going on? Your boy T Davis back again today, and we're going to take a look at the Monday Night Football showdown slate here between the Las Vegas Raiders going into LA to face the Los Angeles Chargers. Both these teams actually playing really good to start the 2021 NFL season, both with some high-powered offenses. And the Chargers went into KC last week, into Arrowhead, and beat the Chiefs. So this Chargers team looks legit with Brandon Staley kind of controlling that defense. You got Herbert. You got Derek Carr on the Raiders side, who's just been absolutely balling this year. So I took a lot of points in this matchup here. The Raiders look like they can put up points against anyone. Chargers look solid on offense and defense as well. So a lot of fantasy points in this game. Make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel for the best fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, and Madden content available on YouTube. Hitting this video with a like, it really helps me out in the algorithm. Comment down below if you guys think I missed anyone, or let me know who you guys like in this matchup. And also make sure you guys check out ThriveFantasy.com. Just recently started a partnership with them where if you enter code TDavis when you deposit, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So check that out. Check the link out in the description below on Thrive Fantasy. Using that code TDavis, you get a great deposit match. They'll put a little extra money in your pocket on Thrive Fantasy. They have some great daily fantasy and prop bet game modes that you can play on there as well. So let's get into this slate, though. And, of course, the picks that we're going to talk about here, we're going to base it off of Draftkings, but these are going to work on Fanduel, Super Draft, Thrive Fantasy when you're looking at bets. All these type of picks are going to be viable on all the sites. So let's get into it here. We'll start with the Raiders side. And I think the clear two studs that you want to play, and I'm talking in cash games and then potentially have as your captains, is Derek Carr and Darren Waller. I mean, Darren Waller, without a doubt, just the probably the second best tight end in football right now, only behind Travis Kelce, maybe third behind Kittle, but this guy is just an absolute monster, man. Derek Carr loves going to him. They had two recent tough matchups there with Miami and Pittsburgh. I think the Chargers defense is okay. I don't think it's as good as Miami's secondary, and I think Pittsburgh's defense is a little overrated, but still solid. So, and you saw Darren Waller just went off against the Ravens in Week 1. So this is a guy that has that huge upside at any time. He's going to get some targets here in a high-scoring game. You have to play him in all your lineups pretty much, and a guy that you can really go to at captain. Of course, we talked about Derek Carr. We know his upside. He's been great so far this year. Hasn't gotten below 25 fantasy points yet all season long. This guy has 300 yards. 400 yards potentially, as you see. He's gotten almost 400 yards in every game. Has 3-4 touchdown upside as well. So Derek Carr, slam dunk. If you guys are playing cash games, head-to-heads, I think you have to have Derek Carr in there just because of the safety of that. But, you guys usually know we like to use receivers in that captain spot for tournaments. So I'd look to Darren Waller there. Now it gets a little interesting here when we're talking about the running back spot for the Raiders. You saw Josh Jacobs. John Gruden came out saying he's questionable for Monday night. So we got to keep our eye on that. If he does play, I'm probably not interested here at 7,600. I know that the Chargers are a little bit of a funnel defense where they can give up rushing yards. They prefer to give up rushing yards compared to passing yards. So that makes maybe one of these running backs in play, but it's just like you don't know who it's going to be because Peyton Barber's had the hot hand, and you got to think John Gruden is probably still going to give him some carries, even if Josh Jacobs plays, and that just takes the upside away from Josh Jacobs. But the other thing for me is I think that this is going to be more of a passing game. They could be trailing in this game. I think Kenyon Drake might get more touches than Barber this week if Josh Jacobs is out. So it's kind of like a three-way cluster here where I don't know who to play. I'd probably lean Drake for the discount and because of his role in the passing game. But I really don't know, honestly. If I'm playing a lot of tournament lineups, I'm probably going to max one of them. And I would never play Jacobs and Barber in the same lineup ever together because they don't catch the ball in the backfield enough. You could maybe play Drake with one of them, but I probably still would just go with one of them in my lineups at all if I'm even going to play any of them. So I probably don't want to play any of them, to be honest, but if I do, I'm only playing one of them, not playing two or three of them in a lineup. So that's how I kind of look at the running back spot. We move down to receiver, and I'm a little surprised here at the big increase in price between Ruggs and Edwards. I know Ruggs is the more explosive player, the deep threat, and he has that upside, but he just hasn't been consistent enough, right? He's looked a little better the last 2 weeks. But he's just, he's kind of that deep threat jet sweep type of guy. Bryan Edwards, who's getting the majority of snaps at the receiver position, and you get him for a discounted price here. I like both guys, though. I'll be including them both in my lineups. And, of course, Hunter Renfrow, Mr. Consistent, the new Julian Edelman out here in the slot for the Raiders. Derek Carr likes to throw to him, too. So I probably prefer Renfrow and Edwards, safety-wise, if you're playing cash games. But Ruggs, obviously, we know has that upside. So if you're playing tournament lineups, I think Ruggs is a guy you can pair with Derek Carr in these lineups to try to reach that upside as well. So I like all 3 receivers. I'll be mixing and matching them. Probably would play max of 2 of them. Probably wouldn't play all 3 of them. But I guess you maybe can. I think Derek Carr does have that upside. But I would definitely go with mainly two of those receivers in my lineups. Keep it moving down here. I don't really see much value. I guess you can include Zay Jones. He plays about 20 to 30% of the snaps. He's probably not going to do much for you, but he's cheap. I like Foster Moreau a little bit, though, at this price. He can get you a red zone touchdown. He's been playing about 50% of the snaps at tight end. They use a lot of 2 tight end sets with him and Waller, and I think Moreau has pretty good talent. So I think that's a guy you could include if you're playing a lot of lineups at that cheap price tag. Alec Ingold, they do like this guy at fullback. He kind of catches some passes. They use him in the red zone a little bit, so maybe you can throw him in there as well. So I would say Jones, Ingold, and Moreau you can maybe include if you're playing a lot of lineups because of their cheap prices. Kind of just hope and pray they get a touchdown in the red zone. And you could play Carlson as well, the kicker. There should be a lot of points in this matchup. He should be a pretty safe option. I would definitely not play the Raiders defense. They've been better this year. They have a good pass rush, but I think the Chargers can eat them alive. So let's kind of look at the Raiders side. Move over to the Chargers side here. Justin Herbert is just an absolute stud, man. This kid just keeps getting better and better and better. I look for him to be one of the best players in the NFL within these next few years. Just absolutely went off last week against the Chiefs. 4 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. I think he can do that again here against the Raiders. I think he can have a big game, so I'd include him in all my lineups. If I'm playing cash games, he's definitely included in there. He's super safe. The interesting thing for me here is we have Mike Williams higher salary than Keenan Allen, which you would never think you'd see. But, man, Mike Williams has been balling. Justin Herbert loves to go to him. Look at the stats. He has 9, 10, and 12 targets in his first 3 games. 7 catches, 8 catches. This guy has been a fantasy stud. If you drafted him in season long, you probably drafted him after, the 5th, 6th round, later than that. And he's paid in dividends, man. This guy has been an absolute stud. Now, I don't know how long he'll keep this up, just because when you look at the history of Mike Williams, it's like, oh, man, we kind of thought he was a bust. But he's in a contract year, and he is just absolutely going off. So I think Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both in play. I know Keenan Allen is a little bit banged up with that ankle, but Keenan Allen's just super consistent, man. He's a tough guy. He's always out there playing, it seems like. I love Keenan Allen in this matchup, especially at the discounted price here. And Austin Eckler, love him obviously too. All these studs for the Chargers are in play. Austin Eckler just does everything you would want. Gets the targets out of the backfield. He's an absolute stud when it comes to Draftkings because you do get that 1 point for the PPR scoring. So those receptions do matter. Eckler, they love to use him in the red zone as well. So all these 4 studs, Herbert, Williams, Eckler, Keenan Allen, all in play. I'll probably have shares of them at captain in all my tournament lineups. Jared Cook here, discounted price at $4,400. You can include him. I don't love it because I think Jared Cook is a little bit older now, kind of past his prime. But he's still okay at $4,400. Good red zone target for Herbert. I don't love it, but you can go there. Vizcaino, the kicker, you can definitely go there. Should be a lot of points in this matchup. Kind of like I said for Carlson, you can play the Chargers kicker. Then I wouldn't play the Chargers defense. I'm probably avoiding both defenses in this matchup. Donald Parham is kind of the number 2 tight end. I wish he would play a little bit more. He's only getting about 20-30% of the snaps. You can include him in some mass multi-entry if you're playing a lot of lineups. I think the best value for the Chargers is Jalen Guyton here, who I don't love at all. He's kind of just their deep threat. He's the 3rd receiver. Doesn't really get the volume that you look for, but at $2,400, he can maybe convert a big play. Like if he can get you 1 catch for 60 yards, that's going to pay off the salary. So that's what they kind of look for with Jalen Guyton. He's the speedster. They look for him deep down the field. So if he can get 1 big catch with upside, then that pays off the salary there. So I would definitely include him. Don't love it, though. And then the tough thing for me is the number 2 running back for the Chargers is like you don't really know who it is between Larry Roundtree and Justin Jackson. They kind of split the carries. They're only getting about 15% of the snaps each. So I don't love either of them. And you can include them, I guess, in your lineups, but I just wouldn't go there at all. I think it's super thin to even think about including Roundtree and Jackson, just because I don't think they don't have the chance to get as many carries as you would want at a value spot like that. So that's kind of how I look at this slate as a whole. Should be an exciting game, though. Not a ton of value as far as daily fantasy goes for this slate, but it should be an exciting game to watch Monday night. A lot of points should be scored. I'll be excited to watch it. Hope you guys are as well, and hope you guys subscribe here to the channel for more content like this throughout the NFL season. I appreciate you guys, man, so much. Just go ahead and smash the like button on this. And comment down below if you guys think I missed anyone, or if you guys disagree with me or agree with me. Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys so much, man. Until next time, your boy T Davis is out.